Now we're going.
Meow.
Feed your cats today?
No, I don't have cats.
I don't have a cat either. And not for the
Oh.
reasons you guys are thinking. Not all of you, maybe some of you. No, we don't have cats, people.
No.
Let's just clear that up right
All
away.
right.
And this really isn't going to be a post about cats, but
No, for sure
I
not.
just feel the need. That comment just
It's so
keeps
funny.
popping up.
It's just so funny that, when people don't know what to say about
Yes.
informed women, a lot of times they just talk about,
Maybe when they fear informed women who talk over each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy just to say, oh, stay home with your cats.
stay home with your
or
cats.
like whatever.
Who's
It's
feeding
like,
your cats?
what? Shut the fuck up.
I don't have any fucking cats. Oh, no profanity.
I don't care about that. We already said that. We don't care about that.
No.
You don't like it?
We don't.
Keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling. Keep
Okay,
on scrolling.
everyone.
So, there are issues we need to address.
Yes.
And we're going to try a little bit of a different format because we have gotten some really great feedback about keeping these shorter because apparently our attention spans are decreasing as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this maybe 2 clips. If we can get them to splice together so you don't have to go to a different clip, great. If we can't, well, bear with us because that's who we are.
Yeah,
and this
right.
is what you get. We are Generation Xers.
We are.
And we talked about this, but I think we missed it last time in one of our 5 recordings, that one thing we read about that is we are known as the technological or technology immigrants.
Immigrants, right?
Yep. Such a great way to describe how we feel sometimes about technology,
God.
how we've had to move
I need
from,
a class.
yeah, whatever. But let's get moving.
Okay, so today we are talking about funding education, funding public education. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of it. That's the first part of this clip, and then the next is how it's funded now and the problems with that. So,
and we're not going to get too detailed.
No,
right?
we're
because
not.
you really don't. We don't need to get lost in the weeds about what
No.
about and what about this. It's pretty basic information, right? And I think the message that we both agree we want to get out there is we are not, back it up.
Yep.
Public schools are not failing our students.
No.
We are failing public schools.
Yes.
And we're going to hammer that home time and time again. And you can
Yeah.
clap back at us. That's fine. Do it.
Yeah.
But you have to understand and you have to start rethinking what is really happening and why do you feel that way? And are those feelings backed by just emotion, backed by personal experience, or are they backed by the actual facts of what has been happening, not just in the last 10 years, but prior to that? Because this has been in the works, this whole dismantling thing, this whole let's privatize education. This is not something new they just concocted. So backing it up to what public education looked like historically when it came to funding.
Yeah, so originally the founders of the Constitution wanted an educated society. And so in order to do that, they needed to make sure that the society was educated. So they took that under their wing. Now, there isn't a Constitution, there isn't anything specific in the Constitution that says anything about education other than they're leaving it up to the states. They have the federal, we have the Department of Ed, well, kind of we do right now.
Came later,
right, that came later. So originally, when we think about the historical context of public ed, everybody wanted everyone to be educated because they needed to know that people could critically think. And it was something that was agreed upon generationally that they wanted everyone to be able to choose for themselves elected officials. They wanted people to think through and problem solve and all of that. So it has never been a partisan issue. Never.
Until now.
That
comes next clip.
Right. Right.
It was nonpartisan.
So
that's how important it was. So not only was it nonpartisan, that public education was important, we're going to dedicate the monies necessary and give the states the tools they need for a successful public education school system. It was a no-brainer. There wasn't any contesting of it. They all agreed, and that's how we move forward. And at the time, the agreement was, and this is important because this funding piece, this funding information is where some of the misleading information is taking us. So originally, and where we should stand today, is that the states were required, they landed on 2/3. So the states were required to provide 2/3 of the funding in order for these public schools to be successful, leaving 1/3 to your local district or your taxpayer dollars, making up for the rest, or other monies, which really aren't out there, but that was the plan. And that's how we had gone along fairly happily. Yeah. And that's where we got stuck.
Yeah.
So just in the past couple of years, I think a couple of important things to keep in mind is one, it has become a partisan issue. It has become political. So when you take something and the choices you're making, the legislation you're passing, the budgets you're passing does more harm than it does to help our students, you've just made it political.
Mm-hmm.
And the students are the real victims.
Mm-hmm.
The public schools are the victims of this political back and forth that is fairly new to how we are looking at funding, how we view funding.
Yeah. So who's being hurt? The kids. I mean, Joellen talked about them being victims. They are the victims. The communities are almost held hostage because we're not giving kids the resources that they need.
No.
So it's harming them. It's not helping them in any way. Not in any way. And that, because the fact that that is politics. So if you are very divisive about, oh, teachers this and schools don't do this, or they need to do this, or they didn't do that, or you can have an opinion about what's going on in your school, but it should not be political. Our legislature should not be using it as a political, like I said, holding it hostage, like saying you can't have it, it can't be a bargaining point. It needs to be, the foundation of this for our state and for our country is basically that we all bear the responsibility of paying for education.
We do.
That's
we
it.
do. And well, gotta talk about, I know we're going over time, way over time again. Just go. Just keep going. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So to further complicate things, the funding formula is broken. It has been broken for a long time. We know it's broken. We can say it out loud that it's broken. It can be fixed. It's just not being addressed.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the system does not address the needs of each student in each individual district. It is looking at wealth versus income. It is looking at student count. And what we're not considering, especially in the last few years, both the urban and rural school districts are facing an increase in the number of students they are serving who qualify for special education needs. They're facing an increase in the number of students in their schools who are impoverished, who are at the poverty level. They're facing an increase in the number of students who may come to our classrooms as English language learners. Every student who walks through that door is entitled to a free and appropriate education. Most of that is mandated.
Yeah, it is mandated.
So we don't have a choice.
Right.
We can't cut programs that historically are more costly. There are certain needs that are more costly to provide for than others. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't be addressing those needs. And that doesn't mean we should be in these little budget wars within our school district about what's going to get funded and what's not going to get funded and pitting programs against each other.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Had to get that in.
That's okay. No, so we're gonna stop this right now. We're gonna add more to it in a second with a part 2. Okay, so stay tuned.